Hello and welcome to Mashable's Air Friday, where we air fry anything and everything in the name of deliciousness. I am culture reporter Tim Marson, and this week we are air frying spicy cashews. This is a recipe from All Recipes. It's a very common recipe website you'll find online, but it originally was for peanuts. But we're gonna do cashews today for a couple of reasons. One, my grocery store only had raw cashews and they needed to be a raw nut. Two, I like cashews better than peanuts anyway. Three, cashews are a little bit larger and I have an air fryer that has a grate that I think peanuts would fall through, and thus you're not gonna get as good of a cook on them. And then four, why not? We're just gonna try something new. Now this should be a really simple, easy recipe and a really easy snack that you can make in just about 20-25 minutes with very, very minimal effort. So what we have here is first raw cashews. That means they haven't been roasted, salted, nothing. And then we have a big bowl, and we're gonna take some seasonings according to this All Recipes recipe and kind of coat them and air fry them. So what we've got here is Old Bay. They say seafood seasoning, they mean Old Bay. This is the hot version of Old Bay. It's the extra hot because that's how I like my food. We've got some cayenne. Now, I am using way more spice than is recommended in the recipe from All Recipes. If you wanna follow it exactly, they say about 8 ounces of nuts. You're gonna want like 3 teaspoons of seafood seasoning and half a teaspoon of cayenne. That's not how I roll. I like things a little bit spicier, so we're gonna go with that. So once you have your seasonings, just take some oil, a couple tablespoons or so, just enough to coat. Mix it all together, take a whisk. And just kind of whisk it up. Really easy, just looks like that. And then from there, you're gonna take your nuts, you're gonna mix them around. I'm just gonna use the same old whisk, kind of coat them up, give them a little shake here, look like I know what I'm doing. And towards the end, ooh, fallen soldier. Towards the end, you have something like this. They should be nice and coated and seasoning in oil. I'm gonna put these down and get my air fryer preheated, and then we're gonna get them in the air fryer. I have my air fryer preheated to 320 degrees. I gave it a light spray just to make sure nothing sticks. We're gonna take our cashews and we're gonna toss them in this hot basket. Nice and spicy, try to get them spread out evenly so everything has a little bit of space to cook. They're gonna cook for 20 minutes total. 10 minutes in, the recipe says to just give a little shake, give a little toss. So they're gonna cook for 20 minutes, after which we're gonna salt and then ramp up the heat for about 5 minutes. But for right now, 20 minutes, 320 degrees, shaking halfway through, really simple stuff. And we're off. Cashews have been in the air fryer at 320 degrees for 20 minutes. I gave them a little shake halfway through, simple stuff. I'm gonna take them out, let you good folks at home have a look. Now, these look a little more charred than I think you'd probably be going for. Maybe 20 minutes is a little too long. What they say here is to take salt them, and then 5 more minutes at the same 320 degrees. So just a little salt, a pinchy pinch. And we're gonna throw these back in the air fryer. And I think 5 minutes is gonna be too long, so I might pull these a little early because they're looking a little charred. But you know, such is life. All right, so we're back in the air fryer, and pretty soon we'll be having a snack. Okay, so I let my cashews cook for another couple minutes. I didn't do the full 5, they were looking kind of burnt, so I pulled them a little bit earlier than the recipe said. Sometimes you just gotta adjust with, maybe your air fryer is cooking a little bit hotter, so you just never really know. But they're done. I let them cool for a little bit because they are certainly hot. Now, if you look here, that's what we got. I'm gonna take a scoop of them out and put them in a little bowl here and take a taste. So here we are, nice and close up. Pretty charred, a little overcooked, but who knows, they might still be good. I can see the potential here. I think keep a better eye on them at home than I did. I wanted to follow the recipe pretty, to the letter. But I think if you cooked them for a little bit less, they'd be better. But the spiciness, the saltiness is very good. I think if you're gonna make this at home, you don't need 20 minutes, which is great news for you. Less time. I think you could really just do this, knock this out in maybe 10, 15, and you're gonna get a better result than, kind of this charred nut here. But all in all, not the worst snack in the world. And I think if you make adjustments for your air fryer and what you're doing, it's gonna turn out great. So give it a whirl.